Extraordinary career, both as an actress and a vocalist. She starred in 2 classic films, among many, Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music. She's appeared on Broadway and has even written children's books. Her latest book is called Little Bo, the story of Bonnie Boadicea.
That's right.
It's her 3rd book for children and her first in 25 years. Julie Andrews, always such a pleasure to see you.
Thanks.
How are you?
I'm good, Katie, and you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm doing fine, thanks. Now, as I mentioned, this is your 3rd children's book.
Right.
But it's been a long time since your 2nd.
I know.
Why such a big span?
It isn't that I stopped writing. I was writing, but I was never able to really complete anything. Little Bo's been in the works for a long time, and I think it's to do with just family and children and work pressures. I was doing Victor Victoria on Broadway, and it wasn't easy to write.
You're a little busy.
It's been a little busy, but now it's getting easier, and I'm really happy to be getting back to it.
What made you want to explore this area in the first place, Julie, and get interested in writing for children?
Well, I loved it as a child. I always enjoyed writing, but I actually sort of, it wasn't by design in a way that I started to write. It was sort of something, I lost a bet. My eldest daughter, I lost a forfeit, and my eldest daughter said, well, what you have to do is write me a story. And so I said, well, all right. Well, and I thought, well, maybe I'll write about 2 pages and make it like a little Aesop's fable, or, you know, a tiny story. And then I thought, well, she was my stepdaughter, and maybe I could bond with her and write her something special, and that's how the first bok that I wrote came about.
Now tell me about this one. What is it about, and what's the genesis?
It's about a little cat, a little abandoned cat, an orphan, and she becomes a ship's cat, and she goes all over the world, and this is the first book in hopefully a series of at least 4 books.
How did this idea come to you?
I was traveling. I was on a boat in Europe, in Greece, as a matter of fact. And strangely enough, the ship's crew had a little abandoned cat on board that they'd found on a pier in Turkey or somewhere like that. And this cat would go swimming in the sea. And
really?
Yes, amazing. I've never seen a cat do that, and I've never known a cat that really adored water. And I got this idea, and I thought, my God, what a lovely idea to tell a little bit about the world and what it's like, and also to do it for young children, about a small cat that travels a great deal.
So obviously you hope this will be used as a teaching tool. And
yes, I do hope so eventually.
You've selected a bit of the book to read to us this morning, and I was wondering if you could do that. And as you read, we've got some illustrations that we can show.
They're pretty illustrations.
They're absolutely beautiful.
They're by a gentleman called Henry Cole, and we've had such fun working together on the story.
I bet you have.
Yeah. This is roughly when she's just been she's been abandoned, the rain's happened, she's wet, she's cold, she's tired, she's frightened. And it says, Bo scrambled away from the nets and crawled, trembling towards him. Good Lord, what is this? Bo felt herself taken up by strong, gentle hands. My goodness, what happened to you, little cat? Little cat, I think. What brings you out on such a miserable winter's night? You must be a long way from home. Bo opened her violet-colored eyes and looked at the young man. He had the kindest voice and a good face. She suddenly found herself crying and whimpering and trying her hardest to tell him all the terrible things that had happened to her. She told him about Withers and how she had run away, and of her long night in the snow, and how Papa had saved her, and how later she'd been attacked by a monster creature. Yes, 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 I know, I know. The young man stroked her and held her against his coat. Bo clung to it and pushed her nose into his collar. We can't stay out here or we'll both be drenched, he said. I wonder who you belong to, where you come from. You'd best come with me for now.
This is for kids ages 7 and up?
7 and up, yes. But about 6 and up, I would say. If it's a read-aloud book, too, so hopefully parents will read to their children.
And then maybe their children can read it to their parents as well, which is something that I think kids do.
I'm looking at the pictures. It's my first real picture book for children, and I'm so thrilled with it. I've been trying it out on all my grandchildren.
And how do they like it?
They seem to be doing okay. You know, I think that they're tolerant of Granny, but Granny Jules, as they call me.
How many grandchildren do you have now?
I have 5.
Wow.
Yes, and I love it. I never thought I'd be so delighted with grandchildren, but I'm thrill.
Now, in addition to writing this beautiful children's book, you've been very busy. You've been doing a number of movies, right?
Yep, I did a movie earlier in the year for television, which will be shown at Thanksgiving with James Garner. And I just finished a film based on Noel Coward's play Relative Values, and I just made that in England and had a wonderful time.
And you knew Noel Coward, is that right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So that must have been a thrill. And you're going to be in another movie playing yourself, is that right?
That's right. A little later this year, I'm going to be doing just a very small 4 days walk-on as myself in a very funny movie with Kathy Bates, I believe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. So you're staying
and
very
I've been
busy.
writing a lot. I'm going to be doing my bio.
Right. You're writing your memoirs. I knew that.
And I've started another book with my daughter for the grandchildren, even younger kids, and that'll be out next year.
Wow. Well, I don't know how you'd have time to do it all.
Well, it's just such fun, and I find it so stimulating, and I'm so grateful.
You sound good, and you're feeling better. Your voice is in good.
Yeah, thank you.
Stead.
I'm still not singing, but as you can hear, I'm speaking a whole lot better, and I'm hoping and praying that little by little it's going to come back.
Well, we all
It's not
hope
there
so.
yet, but it's coming.
It's sounding much stronger.
Yes, thank you. I feel very optimistic.
Well, you feel good, and you look wonderful
Thanks.
as always. And as I said earlier, it's just always a pleasure having you. You're so gracious and lovely, and thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you'll autograph this book for my children.
I would love to.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
And up next, I'm going to pay attention to this, rejuvenating your skin without surgery.
Can I listen?
Sure. But first, this is Today on NBC.